Frosty Cloud just pinched Li Wei, and Li Wei could only scream in pain. You should be thankful to Ease. She said that for the sake of your pregnancy, she asked me to let you go. If you dare to come one step closer, I will definitely kill you. Li Wei was shocked by Frosty's words. Behind her, Li Wei's mate shouted, Frost Cloud, let her go. She is still pregnant. Frosty Cloud then threw Li Wei to them. When he was about to leave, he turned around and told them to keep an eye on her and not to hang around in front of me, so that I wouldn't kill her if I didn't feel like it. She was so angry that tears flowed out of her eyes. Frost Cloud, how dare you humiliate me like this? And that wild female. I won't let you go. Outside, the wind and snow were blowing furiously. The three of us were sitting and eating food when Frost Cloud came here too. I stole a glance at Bai Dai, not sure what I was thinking about. He then asked me if I was full and seemed to have other actions coming up next. I bowed my head and mm'd. Full? What should I say to Bai Dai? If it's a must to choose a mate, I want to be with Whitey. With that, Potty was ready to get up, and I went to sleep outside. As soon as I did, I took Potty's hand and told him to wait a moment. He also turned his head curiously and asked me what was wrong. My voice trembled, and I said shyly, you stay tonight. Bai Dai suddenly frowned. He didn't expect Lin Shuyu to say something like that. He also took my hand and carried a wooden bowl. This made Frosty Cloud on the side unhappy, so she shouted at the two of them, are you trying to keep Bai Dai down to sleep? I also noticed over. You want to be with Bai Dai first, and give birth to Bai Dai first. Right. Frost Cloud was red-faced and defiant. Bai Dai squatted down at that moment. I was at a loss for words. I didn't know how to answer this question. Bai Dai looked at me deeply and slowly. I was so happy. My heart beat faster. Frosty Cloud looked at us and then frowned, not knowing how to retort. In the end, he could only turn around and walk away, and I tried to call out to him. Bai Dai walked over after seeing Frost Cloud's condition. It's fine. He's going back to his cave to rest. Slowly. Are you sure you want to be done? Aren't you scared? I explained slowly. I'm not afraid of you. I'm just afraid of the pain. When he heard me say I was afraid of pain, he hugged me. I was bad last time. Then I pushed him away. Wait, I have this. I took out the source leaf fruit inside the cloth bag. Mu Xian told me that the source leaf fruit can ease my pain. So, Bai Dai smiled and shouted my name. He seemed a bit happy. In fact, you don't have to force yourself. Even if you can't, you'll always be my mate. I'll always love you. I want to be loved. As an orphan, the love I got in my life is too little. I can't feel how good Bai Dai is to me. That's why I cherish it extraordinarily. I don't want to lose it. I held his face. Whitey, do you love me? Bai Dai also responded to my words. Slowly, you are my favorite person. Then the two of them embraced and kissed each other. Back inside the room, he slowly put me on the bed. Bai Dai looked at me deeply. If you feel uncomfortable, just tell me. I will stop immediately. I shyly turned my head and gave a hum. With that, Bai Dai threw away the cloth bag, taking out the source leaf fruit inside. He crushed this fruit. The juices inside all flowed out and shone brightly, and Lin Slowly's body was trembling for some reason. His body suddenly became so hot, like he was longing for something. Bai Dai's body seems to be out of place too. He's blushing slightly. I cover my face. It's too shameful. Don't dare to look at it at all. White Emperor took the source leaf fruit and helped Lin slowly place it in the appropriate position. Afterwards, she moaned, feeling the pleasure of her body. But then I suddenly realized something was wrong. I hurriedly pushed Bai Dai away and asked him to wait. I turned my body sideways and looked at the place on my head. This familiar feeling. I went, what's with the blood? Damn it, I'm on my period. Whitey saw blood too. I hurt you again. His face didn't look good. I had no choice but to explain. It's none of your business. It's my period again. It's a shame that I invited my period halfway to bed. At this time, Frosty Cloud could only bite the quilt helplessly. I also want to mate with Slowly. I'm so angry. On the second day, the wind and snow were still blowing outside, and there was a small noise. Mushon then mocked me. Your physique is really strange. Every time, it comes at a critical time. I was embarrassed and told her not to say anything. Fortunately, the system also gives away sanitary napkins. Otherwise, I really don't know how to live. She carefully examined me. No kidding, but you look so pale. You look very uncomfortable. I don't know why, but this time, my menstrual cramps were particularly bad. At this time, the White Emperor brought fruits. Slowly, this fruit can replenish blood. You eat it. Frosty Cloud claims the door open. Longshu, you give Ease a look at the body. Slowly, you don't be afraid. It will be fine soon. Mushon watched the actions of the two men. Not bad. Looks like Bai Dai and Frosty Cloud both cared about Slowly. You often went to the cave entrance a while ago. That place is windy and snowy. It was supposed to be strong. Now that you have your period, your body is weakening and the sickness took advantage of it. You can get well. You just have to suffer a bit. I suddenly had some ominous feeling. She then held out a bowl of medicine of unknown origin. Drink it and you'll feel better. This color and smell. I backed away in a hurry, rejecting this potion very much. But these two just shouted at me that I had to drink it, and I went straight to the ground in seconds. I lay on the bed and finally drank it. It was really too hard to drink. Frost Cloud in the bedside then said, "You rest well. These days do not move. Everything has us to help you do." I looked at the man in front of me. "Why do you seem to have become gentle?" This is your illusion." Frosty Cloud blushed instantly. "I found you to be annoying at times, but quite cute at others." A hand gently caresses my head. "I'll go boil some hot water. Frost Cloud will stay here with you." Alone in a strange world, meeting by dying Frost Cloud, encountering difficulties and dangers doesn't seem so scary anymore. 7 days later, my great-aunt finally left, White Emperor and Frost Cloud. Let me go to the platform outside the cave to bask in the sun. In this long cold winter, this is the only piece on Rock Mountain that gets the most sunlight. It's the favorite place for the Rocky Mountain Wolf Clan females to stay in the cold winter. The sunshine is long overdue. The coldness in my body has dissipated, thanks to the 2 males in your family who take care of you. So it was Makayan who came over. It's only right that the males are nervous about the females. Look, I just got pregnant and they can't wait to offer me up. I looked at her stomach with curiosity and excitement. Makayan is pregnant too. It's still flat, can't tell. So looking forward to your baby. I wonder what an oak baby would look like. Would it be a small animal? That's when a voice came. Moksha then spoke. "Livy, you are not welcome here." Livy covered her stomach. "I'm pregnant. It's normal to come over to bask in the sun." "Right." She then turned to me and said, "I heard you found a mate. Why aren't you pregnant yet?" She sneered. "Is there something wrong with your body that you can't conceive a child?" I turned my head away, not wanting to talk to her. "There's something wrong with me." Seeing me ignoring her, she got annoyed. "How does she ignore me? Hey, I'm talking to you. Did you hear me?" She tapped me on the shoulder. I shook it off. "Don't touch me. It hurts." Good chance. Li Wei fell straight to the ground. "Ouch. My stomach hurts. Why did you push me?" The orcs behind me immediately whispered, and I frowned a bit. Mu Xian immediately spoke for me. "Nonsense. She didn't push you at all." Li Wei then pointed at me. "Then slowly is going to kill me and the baby in my belly. She couldn't give birth to a child herself, so she's going to kill someone else's child." I didn't. I tried to refute her. Li Wei seemed to have seized the opportunity. "If my child is gone, I won't let you go." Then she made a move to jump up. She rushed towards me. "You wild female with evil intentions." She pushed me out of the way, and I must have been unsteady. My body fell backwards, and I couldn't stand on my feet. Makayan saw this and immediately shouted my name. I seemed to realize something was wrong. I actually stepped on the ground and couldn't stand on my feet. Oh no, I was on the edge of a cliff. I screamed miserably and my body fell downwards. Whitey seemed to realize something. "It's Ease. She seems to be in danger. And I keep falling? It seems to have some connection with Bai Dai." Frosty Cloud wanted to jump down, but was stopped by Mu Xian. "Don't do anything stupid. This is a cliff. You'll be pulverized if you jump. Warning, warning. The host life is in danger. The system is activating defense procedures. Space transfer is about to take place. Space transfer successful. I've been transferred to this place by the system. It's snowing and windy. I woke up freezing. It's cold. Didn't I fall off a cliff? How come I'm in the snow? I suddenly woke up. I fell off the cliff. No injuries from the fall. I'm in one piece. I'm not hurt. The system is so powerful." I looked around me. What a strange place. Where is this place? That's the Rocky Mountain. The system has moved so far away to save me. It's going to take ages to walk back, and it's snowing so much right now. But I have no other choice but to get out of here. I have to hurry back or White Emperor and Frost Cloud will be worried. The sun has set and the Rocky Mountain still looks so far away. It would be too dangerous to leave at night. We have to find a place to land. The sun has completely set. Luckily there's a cave. We're cold and hungry. We'll rest first and go in the morning. Kindling, a sheepskin atlas, a few sweet fruits to satisfy the craving, and a bone knife. I should have put more meat in my bag. I looked outside and went to find firewood first to keep warm. Suddenly I heard a noise and stepped my head out to check. There was someone outside. The man was lying there. I came to his side through the snow. "Hey, are you okay? Wake up." Looking at the man in front of me, he didn't move again. There's blood seeping out of his waist. He's injured. If left unchecked, he'd probably freeze to death alive. I tried to lift his body. I couldn't. He was too tall and heavy for me to lift. In the end, I could only drag him. I slowly dragged him towards the cave. It was still snowing heavily outside. With no sign of stopping, I built a fire. I needed to keep warm or I'd freeze to death. And this man had been brought inside by me. This man is so good looking. Is he an orc too? The way he was dressed, he didn't look like a normal orc. The fabric texture and craftsmanship, the ones worn and used by the orcs in the Rocky Mountains, are completely different. He came from a place with a much higher standard of living. Not only fabrics, but gems. What kind of place would that be? Would there be a city? My eyes suddenly got a little misty, and eventually fell into a deep sleep, and the man just woke up. Where was this? Where's the guy who's after me? He looked at the woman in front of him. A female, eyes narrowed, a little alarmed. Fire. Why is there a fire here? He looked at his wound again. It was bandaged. Did this little female bandage it? It looks like it should be this little female who saved me and built a fire to keep me warm. This should be a remote area with low-level tribes on a winter's night. This little female is alone in the mountains and knows how to make a fire. So I don't know what she is from. Looking closely, she's so cute looking. Even in the temple, I've never seen such a beautiful female. I woke up just then. I was surprised by the man in front of me. Did you save me? Thank you. Don't move. Don't move. You've just bandaged your wound. It's easy to tear it if you move. This man turned round. Are you a witch doctor? No, I'm just an ordinary female. This man's eyes are so cold and scary. My name is Saint Knight. What's your name? My name is Lin. You can call me Ease. Ease, what a nice name. This person's voice is so seductive when he calls me by my name. When I was bandaging him before, I saw that Sang Ye's wound was so flat. It looked like he was stabbed by a sharp object. Was someone trying to hurt him? But he looked so cold. It is not good to approach and dare not ask. Winter season. All the beastmen are hiding for the winter. How could there be such a small female here? On this side of the Rocky Mountain, everyone knows the situation too. Bai Dai angrily shouted, "Let go. I'm going to find slowly." Slowly fell from such a high place. It is impossible to live. If you go down the mountain to look for her now, you can only find a corpse. What's more, the Frost Cloud Patriarch has already found now at the bottom of the cliff, and there is no trace of Slowly at all. And Frost Cloud is looking here. He can feel the breath of Slowly. Slowly told me, "You are not dead. You're still alive." The next day, the snow had stopped. I was mentally a bit dazed from hunger. My stomach was so hungry. The wind and snow had died down outside, so I went out to see if there was any prey. But I know you still have injuries on your body. You can't move around. He then directly ripped off his own clothes. I was stunned. Sang Yu put on his clothes and explained, "My body is different from normal people's. My wounds have already healed. The wound healed itself in one night." What an awesome talent. He put on his clothes. "I'm going out to hunt. You stay here and don't run around." "But I want to go home." I called out to him in a hurry. The response I got was this menacing stare. The man was too cold to retort. I could only wimp out for a second. It was nothing. Finally he walked out. He's gone and won't be back anytime soon. The snow has almost stopped. Frosty Cloud and White Emperor must be very worried about me. It's better to hurry up and get on the road home. Although I want to leave a note to Sang Knight, but I don't have a pen or paper, and I don't know how to write here. We're just strangers, so it shouldn't matter. I look at this fruit. This kind of fruit should be edible. I ended up spitting it out as soon as I ate it in my mouth. It tastes so bad. I touched my stomach. I was so hungry. I miss eating barbecue with White Emperor Frosty Cloud. And then it snowed again, but I couldn't find a place to hide from the snow. I was cold and hungry. Finally I fell into the snow with a thud. A pair of feet appeared right here. "What are you doing here?" It turned out to be Sang Yu, who came over and had just looked at me. My body shivered with cold. I wanted to go home. "Where's your home?" I responded to him. "Live over there on the rocky hill." But then he said, "Come back with me." He picked me up in his arms. "Can you take me home? I really want to go home. Please help me. My mate is waiting for me to come back." When I first met her, I smelled the faint scent of male orcs, and they were her mates. "You guys already?" I said no. What's wrong with this person to ask such a thing? If you don't have it, you're not really a mate, so you'd better come with me obediently. "No, wait a minute." I tried to resist, but he ignored me and carried me away. The wind was blowing, the snow was blowing. He made a fire and roasted the meat, and handed me the roasted meat. "Aren't you hungry? Eat up." I looked at the meat. This man wasn't afraid of fire either. Surely his tribe should be of a more advanced kind. I looked at his hand, burned, and asked him, "Does your hand hurt?" He ate the meat and said it didn't feel anything. I looked at the meat in his hand. "Eating raw meat. You don't like cooked meat." "I don't like hot things." "Then you just roasted the meat over a fire." He then said, "Because I want to eat." This man looks cold. He's not really cold. He's just not good at expressing it. Right. I turned around and walked over. I picked up an ice cube after all that grilled meat. Some ice to refresh, but this man keeps staring at me for some reason. I turned to look at him. Why do you keep staring at me? Do you want to eat? I don't like something so cold. You don't like either hot or cold things. Is there anything else in this world that you like? What an eccentric person. He didn't answer my question either. After that I leaned against a rock to rest, but my body shivered from the cold. That's when Sonia also noticed me, being chilled by the night breeze from the cave. He then stood up and took off his own clothes. Finally his body transformed into a beast. It turned into a black boa constrictor, sitting on its back. Watching me move and shiver, he continued to wriggle his body. He blocked the entrance to the cave. Then his whole body blocked the entrance to the cave, so the wind and snow couldn't blow in. Then I was relieved. I didn't feel the cold. He just watched me sleep, not knowing what he was thinking. Time came the next day. I woke up with a yawn. I slept so warmly yesterday. Then a snake appeared in front of me. I was so scared that I ran away from it. Help! He was going to roll me up. I struggled with my body. Don't eat me! Help! I heard him say, I'm not going to eat you. I then recalled that the voice sounded a bit like Sanyu's. This giant snake has black and purple gems on its head. I looked at him hesitantly. You're saying night. He responded back to me. Sure enough, in this world, it's either old tigers and wolves or snakes. The animal I'm most afraid of in my life besides rats is snakes. Shouldn't snakes hibernate? As a result, he responded that after a beast evolves into an orc, it doesn't need to hibernate anymore. Then can you change back to human form? He then asked me, do you think I'm ugly in this form? Females usually don't like pythons too much. Will the little female be like the other females? He spat out his snake letters. Real snake kisses are scarier, alright. I was scared and hid behind it trembling. He saw how I was behaving. The little female was trembling. Don't be afraid. I won't hurt you. Sang Knight's voice, a little sad. Is he worried that I'm sick of being afraid of him? I stood up and lightly touched his tongue. The first time I touched a snake's letter, the soft touch was quite new. It doesn't seem so scary anymore. Sonyu trembled with emotion. She was different from the other females. She wasn't afraid of me. I really want to keep pastoring you, so that you belong to me alone and no one can take you away. He then rolled his body. I'm going out to hunt. I don't feel comfortable with you being alone in the cave. Hold on to me. He led me outside. He kept crawling forward. I was a bit helpless. The python car was quite stable. There just happened to be a snowbank in front of us. So he stopped. What's the matter? He put me in a tree. He turned around and came to this snowdrift. With a flick of his tail, he smashed the snowbank open, and there seemed to be something inside. It turns out that there was a rabbit inside, which had been knocked out by Sane Night. The first time I saw this method of hunting, the hibernating hare family was buried alive in their sleep, truly killing the beast without bloodshed. Then it looked towards me. Let's go back. He then took me back inside the burrow. He slowly lowered me down, and his body seemed to change a little again. It changed into human form again. I was stunned by this scene. My face was slightly red, because his body was not clothed. I covered my eyes and didn't dare to look. Why didn't you say hello before you transformed? But he said, don't you like my body? I quickly waved my head. Like it or not, you can't just bare your body in front of a female. Don't you know that? He put on his clothes and said, never heard of it. I realized that this was the world of beasts. I can't get used to the spontaneity of the orcs. He got dressed too. When I touched the vines on one side, I heard a ding, triggering the third of the winter quests. Please ask the host to collect 300 plant seeds. A new quest. Mission tip. One of the ancient plants and animals has a wide range of plant seeds. The host can refer to it for reference. Bird feather vine. The fruit is rich in many kinds of starch. After drying and grinding, it can be turned into a food similar to flour. Then I can eat steamed buns, noodles and dumplings. Bird's feather vine is tenacious. As long as the root is buried in the soil and plenty of sunlight and water, it can grow. It should be put away properly and planted in the spring. Just then, Soyo handed me the roasted rabbit. I took the roasted rabbit and said thank you. Looking at his hand, Sonya's hand was burned again. So I said to him, I'll roast it next time. I don't want your hands to get burned again. He then asked me with a smile on his face, you're relating to me? I also happily responded to him, yeah, Sonya looks gloomy, but he's actually very nice. I already consider him a friend. He then braced himself and stood up, walked in front of me and approached me. Do you want to mate with me? Be my mate. I'll treat you well. I was a bit overwhelmed and quickly refused. I already have a mate. But he then immediately rebutted me. You are not really mates if you have not mated yet. How can you tell? To me, as long as you genuinely like each other, you are a true mate. Singyeon then asked me, you like them? Then of course I do. He squeezed my shoulder. What about me? Don't you like me? I only like you as a friend, not as a man and a woman. He was immediately cold again. I don't need friends. No, it's me who can't accept too many mates, wanting to be together for a lifetime, and then suddenly there's an extra frost cloud. I still haven't digested the accident to this day. Then let us three males duel. The one who wins becomes your mate. The one who loses gives you up. Naturally, I disagreed. How can a relationship be settled like this? He then glared fiercely. Don't you push me? I stepped back in some fear. Sane Knight's eyes were so scary. If you insist on refusing to accept it, I will have no choice but to swallow you so that we can be together forever. I then explained. There are many young females in the Rocky Mountains. You can pick your favorite female from them to be your mate. It doesn't have to be me. He just dismissed my words outright. No, I just want you. I like you. Are you mistaking the saving of your life? How can you like me when you've known me for less than 3 days? No, I like you. I like you so much that I can't help but keep you in my arms and never let you go. I've met many females, and the idea of a mate never occurred to me. Only when I saw you, I knew I had to have you. But I'm not pretty. I'm weak, and I'm not good at anything. You shouldn't have seen me. You're the most beautiful female I've ever seen. You are beautiful. I bow my head in embarrassment. It's the first time I've been praised for my beauty in more than 20 years of my life. Then he spat out his snake letters and licked the corner of my mouth. I was shocked. I stepped back. Why does this guy always lick me when I couldn't retreat any further? He came closer to me. Slowly. Why can't you give me a chance? It's too close. Sane Knight's breath is at the end of his nose. You're a good man and deserve a better female. He then sneered. A good man? I am not. If you refuse me again, I'm afraid I won't be able to resist eating you up. I was a little overwhelmed. Samye, ew. He continued. Let's make a deal, shall we? What deal? Take back your hand. 10 days. If you can fall in love with me within 10 days, we'll be mates. If not, I'll give up voluntarily and send you home. It's a bit of a waste of time, but with Sang Yu's escort, I'm sure I'll be able to get home quite smoothly. I then immediately said yes. The corners of his mouth rose slightly. He kissed me straight away. Then he immediately dodged away again. So we have a deal. I protect my body. Without my permission, you cannot move your hands and feet on me. Not even now. He said yes, but in his heart he said, little by little, start with a kiss. Let the little female drop her guard. Outside, the wind is howling, the wind is snowing, and here at Rocky Mountain. Whitey, have you really made up your mind? I can feel that he is still alive. If she unfortunately dies, I'll die with her. He can only sigh. This is for you. This is water that you can drink to get warm all over. You take it with you. You might be able to use it. Bai Dai took this water back and thanked him. With that, he slid down the rope. Slowly, I feel you alive. Wait for me. I'm coming to save you. Inside the dungeon, Li Wei was still screaming for help. It's been 2 days, right, since that wild female fell off the cliff. I've been left here. No one has come back to bring water or food. You can't do this to me. I'm a female, and I'm carrying a child. If anything happens to me, my tribe will never let you go. Is there anyone who brings me food and water? Just as I finished speaking, Frosty Cloud came over to me. Quickly put me out. I'm so hungry now. Frost Cloud walked towards Li Wei. Something seemed to be wrong. Frosty's eyes turned blue and he said without any emotion, I'll make you pay for the death of Slowly.